we're starting over because that last video was a hot mess. So my name is Heather Finley. I'm here today with my July wrap-up for books. July was not that great of a reading month for me. I blame it on Comic-Con because the week before Comic-Con it's like I'm packing and preparing, and then during Comic-Con I don't really read, and then after I'm just too tired, so it blocks out a lot of reading time. So I only made it through 5 books and 2 of those were audiobooks. So before I dive into that though, I was going to mention that early in the month I went to a signing at Powell's that was for Seanan McGuire, Amber Benson, and Sarah Kuhn. It was super awesome. I got books signed. I got Death's Daughter by Amber Benson, who you might know her from Buffy. And I got Parasite signed by Seanan, which she also writes her like medical horror books, so what you call these, under the name Mary Grant. So I got that one signed, and then I bought and got signed Heroine Complex by Sarah Kuhn. So there's all those, and together for their tour all 3 of them wrote a book called Magical Girls, just a little short novella I guess you would call it, which is very cool. I like this idea. More authors should do that. Just saying. Alright, so let's dive into it. The first book I finished this month was an audiobook, and that was The Crown by Kiera Cass. I absolutely loved how this book ended. I was listening to it like every second I could get. I think I mentioned in the last video how there was just all this crazy stuff that was in common with me, which was weird. But it was just such a good ending to the series, and my ship won. My ship sailed out to sea happily ever after, I guess we can say. So yeah, phenomenal book, 5 out of 5, totally loved it. After that, I finished reading Percy Jackson and the Battle of the Labyrinth by, what's his name, Rick Riordan. And I mean, all the Percy Jackson books are just great. I don't know that this one was my favorite, but also I don't really know that I can say that one is more my favorite than the others or anything like that. But very good. Awesome. If you haven't checked out that series, like me and you're way late to the game, check it out. Totally worth it. After that, honestly, these last 3 books, I finished all of them on like the last day of the month in the last minutes of the month. So I was cramming to try and get through. But earlier this year, I set a goal to try and reread, I think I said 5 books that I have kept over the years. So it's just kind of sad that sometimes they just sit on the shelf forever. So the first one I decided to reread is How to Teach Filthy Rich Girls by Zoe Dean. This one, if you ever saw the TV show Privileged that used to be on the WB, this book is what that show is based on. So it's basically about a girl that gets like fired from her job, but she gets a job offer from the person firing her, basically to be a tutor to these 2 rich, kind of think of them almost like Paris Hilton-y types, where they're super famous, not for necessarily being smart, just for having tons of money and being wild teens, more or less. So this book, I already knew I would love it. I'm so glad that I decided to reread it, because I think the first time I read this, when did it come out? I think I read it not all that long after it came out the first time. Let's see, 2007. So yeah, this would have been about when I read it before, it was 2007. So being older, I think I have a lot more appreciation for all the silly sexual jokes in it and just everything. It was a great book. Loved it again. Totally recommend rereading stuff if you're not into doing that. I'm losing train of thought. I'm like gawking off at my other books, like what should I reread next? There's so many I love. So after that, I also finished reading Percy Jackson and the Last Olympian. That is the 5th one in the main Percy Jackson series, kind of the final book before all the new ones started coming out, the new series in it. And it ended great. It was awesome. It was a lot of battling. So that, I think, kind of made it feel slow a little bit, but I'm very happy with how the series ended. You can hear my cat sneezing somewhere back there. So yeah, 5 out of 5. Everything's 5 out of 5 this month. The next one, the last one I finished, was the audiobook of Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 2nd book in the Throne of Glass series. Badass assassin girls. What is there not to like? I will say what I don't like. So I love Sarah's writing, I love the book, I love the series, everything like that. Audiobook, maybe don't do the audiobook of this series. Sarah's writing, I think if it was in print form on this one, it would be like such and such is happening with them, and then maybe just like a gap of space and then such and such something else. The audiobook reader didn't give you much pause, so it was very hard to kind of keep up with the story at points, because it'd be like, there's this, and then all of a sudden this, and all of a sudden this, and it was just hard to keep straight. I don't know what they could have done audiobook-wise to make that more sense, like maybe if they just would have put some sort of like music or sound effect kind of in the middle, which would have been kind of silly, but at least it would have helped it make sense more. Or maybe just re-chapter the whole thing, which also would have been weird, but that I think is what they did with the Game of Thrones audiobook to help it flow better. So that just kind of took away from my enjoyment of the book, but I still totally loved it. I need to finish the Throne of Glass ones up till now, hopefully do that before the next one comes out, and yeah. So there's July. I'm home for all of August, so hopefully get a lot of reading done. I have started reading The Girl with All the Gifts, which is like a zombie dystopian, so I'm really excited about that. And I started reading Burn for Burn, so kind of like a summertime read, and yeah, that's just where we're at right now. And I think audiobook-wise right now I'm listening to Dead of Night, which is the follow-up to Tomorrow When the War Began. So, sorry, I'm like having trouble keeping all my thoughts straight. So yeah, let me know what you read this month, recommend stuff to me, and I will be back soon with more videos.